G'day guys, welcome to Supercoach Sword Play. Today I'm going to take you through my second team draft for 2025. I did make a major channel announcement about a week ago now, so make sure that you do go and check out that video. I also talk about all the preseason content that's coming as well as in-season content, some new and very exciting changes to the channel as well as the website this year. So have a look at that if you haven't already. And apart from that, you haven't seen too much content for the last week on the channel. Firstly, and you're probably thinking, you're on holidays, DR, come on, give us something here. But I have been spending a lot of time with the family. That's really important for me to do while I do have a break. But with every other spare minute, I've been putting my heart and soul, as well as the sword play crew and about 20 to 30 of the best minds in the game. We've been putting our heart and soul into the 2025 sword play season guide. Now, let me tell you, already this is well and truly exceeding my wildest expectations. We thought that we'd put a little bit of a guide together about strategy, what to do during the season, focus on some players, as well as do some basic team reviews. But within the last week and a half, this has absolutely boomed. And I tell you what, I'm really proud of many of my achievements when it comes to Supercoach and what we've been able to do with the channel. But already, this is my proudest achievement. Being a part of creating this guide is number one for me at the moment. So I think that says a fair bit. This will be everything that you need to have your best career rank. I almost guarantee it. So I'm not going to talk all about it now, but I'll give you a few teasers. So we're getting the best content creators in the land, people that actually barrack for those particular teams, do some team reviews. So all 18 teams, there's really detailed data there. We'll be predicting things like the top 4 CBA mids for each team. We'll be giving you a breakdown on the flex position, what to do with that. Janeth has just been smashing that one out. I reckon it's up to about 5 or 6 pages already. I just did a recent article about how to use your trade boost most effectively. That was going to be a 2-page document. I think that's 7 or 8 pages now. I even managed to sit down with the winner, Joven, from 2024, the number 1 super coacher in the land, and talk to him about what he did with his boosts. So I broke that down. Then we've got almost like a role play analysis, what we did in round 6 last year, the conservative approach, your aggressive approach. I'm talking way too much about it now, but super excited about this. Even DVP analysis for the early fixtures. Roscoe is currently putting together some tagger analysis. We've got Jaden Popowski, the best stats minds in the game on the Twitter sphere. He's putting together a special article for us, as long as so many other people. That is just scratching the surface of what you're going to see in the season guide. So everything will be revealed shortly, including a link to a pre-order if you're interested. But I cannot say this is just the best thing I've ever been a part of. So enough of that. In today's video, I will take you through the side, a couple of structural changes. I think I've moved out 2 to 3 premiums, split a premium into a couple of mid prices, and also really focused on trying to beef up my rookie bench because I think that I was a little bit light there. So nothing is set in stone at the moment. Most likely plenty more changes to make, but I'm pretty happy with the structure and how things looking. But as always, give me some feedback, constructive, negative, fantastic, whatever it is. Very, very keen to hear it. So let's get into this, guys. Hope that you're well. Let's see how the team is looking at the moment. Alrighty, so here we are. Straight away, you'll notice some changes from my previous team reveal. You'll notice that both Jordan Clark and Sam Flanders are now out of my back line. I was only running with the 3 primos being Sheasel, Sinclair. I think it was originally Clark, but then I swapped him to Flanders. But I've now decided against that. I've now dropped Flanders and basically split him into 2 mid prices, being Callum Mills, who wasn't in the original side, as well as James Peatling. And I'm not a huge fan of selecting mid prices in my midfield. I'm very much against that, but I really like the look of what Peatling may potentially deliver for us in 2025. And I'll talk about him in a sec. And probably the other 2 major changes that you'll notice to accompany that is the fact that the horny one, Jason Horne-Francis, is now omitted from the side, out of the side. And I've actually got Pikey, another Pikey, not Martin, but I think it's Josh Pike in the side. That is actually going to be Harry Boyd from St Kilda when he gets added to the game. So rookie has just been recruited, I believe, from the Sandful. Some really nice numbers there. And from what I'm hearing, it looks like he may potentially take up that number one ruck role to allow Marshall to play a little bit more up forward, even as a bit of a midfielder within his own right. Marshall, he's that versatile and that good below his knees for a big fella. So that's the other change that I've made there. I've taken out Matt Flynn for now. I'm not sure if I'll even run with a loophole either with Archery. That's been the other change. I've gone from Sims to Reed. I paid the extra 6K because I really like the fact that West Coast have a lot of Sunday games. Sims, his fixture isn't as friendly for a loophole. But in saying that, I was speaking to a couple of folks the other day about the whole idea of a loophole. And with these early buys, do we really need one? I'm not too sure. So I could always get Pike back and potentially start to look at someone else in the flex position if I don't run with Reed there as a loop. But yeah, 165K to play with and some decent price rookies on the bench that could certainly be viable on field. I think that's a safe position to be in now when I'm doing my planning. So we'll quickly go through some of the plays. I've talked about lots of these guys in my first team preview, but Harry Sheasler, I think, should be in everyone's side. He's a very, very popular player. And from looking at many team reviews, obviously from content creators and some great blokes out there, I don't think I've seen anyone that's fading Harry Sheasler for the time being. So I think he should be a starting point in regards to promos in your midfield. Jack Sinclair, now, a big selling point for me is his buy as well as his scoring history. So I could save a little bit of money here and go with Jordan Clark, but I just don't think that's strong enough with Clark being that D2. Sinclair, there's still some question marks over that role. Will he actually push into that midfield? Will he continue to play down back for the majority of his time? I'm not too sure. So again, a couple of things to watch out for here, but all in all, I'm pretty happy to have him at D2 at the moment. I think he's going to be a solid pick. Callum Mills, now the big issue for me originally with not selecting Mills is the fact that I had Kitty Coleman in the side, and I thought I just can't run with the two, but I've crunched a few of the numbers here, and it's going to be a slight struggle this round 3 buy, but I think I'm prepared to do it with some of the players that are available from those sides. So at 357,000, if he can get anywhere near close to his best, then this is going to be an absolute steal, and he could be a potential keeper. Will he do that? I'm really not too sure, but at the price at the moment, from what I'm hearing, I'm willing to do it. If we take a look back to his numbers, playing that midfield role, absolutely insane. This Mills is a really important piece to the Supercoach puzzle at Sydney, I believe, anyway, because he could affect someone like a Matty Roberts, another upcoming midfielder. Really not too sure what to expect, but hopefully he comes back into the midfield. He's a captain of the side. He's an absolute gun of a player that can easily give you 110 average if he's in the right role and if he keeps his body right. So Mills has now entered my defensive line. I've dropped a premium just for now because I think there are some good options we can have on field back here. Coleman, I've already talked about. Someone had a little bit of a crack on Twitter the other day. I think the blokes from Supercoach shared my side after I'd been on the podcast with them. And he said something along the lines of, I can't believe DR selecting Kitty. How does he not know that he's not going to line up for round 1? Then I put a little cheeky reply with Danny Daly, our GM, giving us all a reminder that he will be right to participate in the preseason game. So I'm expecting Kitty to be fine for round 1. And at that price, again, I'm really prepared to take him, even though he's got that early buy. It's not ideal, but I just think the value's there. The great thing about both Mills and Coleman as well, which we can't forget, is the fact that in round 0, we get a free look at these guys. So if Mills has got some sort of a dodgy backline role or he's not doing much, Kitty isn't setting the world on fire, and Zorko's still down there, for example, still with that main distributing role that he had last year when Kitty went out of the side, then we can reevaluate these picks. And that's another great thing about having 165K in the Kitty. You add that on to someone like a Callum Mills, get a Draper down or a Lindsay down to someone else who's likely to play at a cheaper price at 113, 119. And all of a sudden, you've got a primo there. You've got your Jordan Clark there if you want to. So I'm pretty happy with Mills and Coleman for now. Buys aren't ideal. Travaglia, I think this is going to be a really easy pick. 172,000 with that DPP status, which I think would be really handy for us. Saad Al-Hawi, we've already talked about a lot. I think he's a lock at 119 and looking to play, I think, in the best 23 this year. Busslinger, now this is a really interesting one now. I won't drop his name. Very good mate of mine. Loves his Supercoach. Actually ran into the Bond himself while he was dining out at a nice restaurant and said that, I wasn't quite sure whether to chat with him. So we left him alone for a little bit and then saw that he was free, went up and had a quick chat. And firstly said he's an absolute legend, a very big man. My mate's a pretty sizable man himself, but Bond just towered over him apparently. But number one question was, give us one breakout player in Supercoach for the Dogs this year. Buslinger was his answer. So that is from the Bont himself. I would give a shout out to my mate that wants to remain anonymous. So I'm going with Buslinger at the moment on the bench. And Bias, as we all know, that dashing type, mature age defender from the VFL, may be getting a game as well. We're not too sure. Fair bit of competition for spots down there as well. So that's the current defensive line at the moment. We'll get into the midfield now. So this has changed a little bit. Actually, I'll show you as much as I can still there. Sorry. So the Bond, he won't change. It's simple as that. Unless there's some sort of preseason disaster, the Bond will not change. It'll be my Perma VC captain option every week, pretty much. Daicos is an ex-bloke. Now, we're having a really great discussion on Twitter last night. I know that my man Abs is all on Daicos. Plenty of other blokes are fading him for good reason as well. The early buy, what happens if he gets nearly 50? Right. Plenty of reasons for and against. But for me, sort of along with Bont, and we know he's going to get the odd tag game, and hopefully we'll have a fair idea about opposition and if he's going to get tagged beforehand in regards to whether or not we have him in our loop. But I think alongside Bont, he's just a great VC captain option, and he will be a bit more of a pod this year as compared to previous years, simply because of that buy. I think there may not be a heap of value here, but I just think that he's one of the best players in the comp. And look, there's no numbers data to suggest this, but he could explode. Now, he's not an absolute lock, and that early buy does put me off when you add your Mills and your Coleman there. There's already 3 blokes that are gone, but I mainly do look at the premiums when I'm assessing whether or not to select players from these early buys. So Daicos isn't a lock, but he's there for now anyway. Brayshaw at this stage is an absolute lock for me. Already talked about him. We know that he was dealing with injury in the early part of the season. What will those CBAs look like? Don't know. There's been a little bit of a chat today, again, with some content creators I know, wonderful people, that they may be preparing for Chad Warner, maybe trying to phase him out a little bit. Who knows? But it's a contract year for him. They should give him as much time as possible, you'd think. But with a great buy, he's an MVP just a couple of years ago. Don't forget that. We can't forget this guy's talent. A running machine, good inside, good outside. And given the fact he is good on the outside, does concern me slightly that he could be the one to be pushed out if someone does. But for now, I just think that there's value in the pick, and I really rate him as a player. So Andy Brayshaw, some say vanilla pick. I'm all good with that. Track is the other bloke that's entered the side. Now, originally I wasn't thinking about Track because, well, I didn't know how long it would actually take for him to get his body right. And the other big thing was the mental demons. You know, I don't care how brave you are, how tough you are. And he's a tough bloke. Remember, he came back onto the ground after this happened, the horrific injury. The bloke almost lost his life, don't forget. But the mental side of it, I don't care how brave you are, going back onto that field, putting your head over the ball or even sitting under a high one, that's got to be bloody tough. So originally I wasn't running with him. And then my good mate, Jono Carroll, sent me through a picture of this guy, and chiseled isn't even the word, absolute statue-like status, was just looking phenomenal. So pretty much 5 minutes after I saw that, bang, found a spot for him, did a little bit of a restructure. It was pretty much, in a way, Track for Horn Francis. That's what I did there. Around the same price, you're paying a little bit more here, I know, but around the same price, it was just Track for me with a bit of a restructure, as I said. So happy with him in the side at the moment. But if there's any news with any niggles or worries or concerns, I'm happy to get him straight out. But the mental side of things still worries me, but just looking phenomenal at the moment. So I have to get him in. Clary's an absolute lock. Remember, he came back with the first to fourth year players, started training early. So really happy to have him there. Not a lot of discussion needed, but similar to Track, well, not similar to Track, I suppose, for different reasons. I'll be keeping a very, very keen eye and ear out for any rumours or murmurs about his preseason. But for now, looking really good. Definitely in. This is an ex-bloke that's entered my side, and I'm pretty keen. Now, I glazed over him a little bit at the start, mainly because of that price. And I said right at the start, I hate selecting mid-price midfielders, and I'm not really counting Clary as mid-price midfielder. That's a fallen premium. He can be one of the best scorers in the game on his good day or on a good year. So Clary's a little bit different there. But Peatling, I just think there are so many great things going for him. So if you look at all the numbers and really break those numbers down, you look at CBAs last year, Vest games, there is so much meat on the bone. If he's in the right role, that it's not funny. I think he's got around 30 points on the bone here, at least, if things go well. If things go even better than expected, he could have 35 points on the bone. Now, it's all about the role. Where's he play? I think it's midfield. It's going to be an interesting midfield mix for Adelaide this year, but I think that Laird goes back. That opens up a spot there. Not really sure what happens with Crouch. He's lost a bit of a yard of pace, but last year, let's be honest, he was one of their better midfielders. And yeah, kudos to Matty Crouch, what he did. You've obviously got Jordan Dawson, you've got Saligo. I don't think that someone like Schoenberg's going to have much of an impact there. I think Sam Berry, see you later, mate. I just don't know if he's up for regular midfield time. You've obviously got Rankin there who's going to come in. So once you throw a few names, Richelli, I prefer him up forward, and I think he's going to be a majority forward. But there are a few blokes there. But what I think Peatling brings to this side is a real defensive mindset to that midfield. And I actually expect him to be potentially third in line for these CBAs. I think that he can be a bit of a poor man's Josh Dunkley for Adelaide. That's what I loved when Brisbane recruited Dunkley, that bigger body, defensively minded midfielder. I don't think he's as big as Josh Dunkley, but he's a tackling beast. He loves to put that pressure on. And when his CBAs are 50% or more, he's averaging over 90. I think it may be even close to mid-90s. So a lot to like about James Peatling, but he's got to be in the role. We've got to see him in the role. And I'm really keen to take a look at Adelaide's midfield mix. I'll be asking MJ. George will be coming on for the Adelaide team preview, so I'll be in easier about Peatling. But he's been the mid-pricer that's really piqued my interest at the moment. And at the price, even if he makes 100 to 120k, that means that he'll be averaging enough to give me a really nice score on field, and then I'll be able to upgrade him. The issue with getting, say, a Peatling in over Horne-Francis is that I've got a keeper in Horne-Francis in the forward line, whereas Peatling, I pretty much know that I'll need to upgrade as a midfielder. But if you compare their prices as well, there's around, 200k difference. And, well, put the two players on the table. Tell me what you think. James Peatling or Horne-Francis, Peatling plus 200k. Is Horne-Francis going to outdo him by 200k? I think that in no point in time at all, or very, very quickly, there could be, say, a 50 grand difference, which wouldn't mean a big difference in regards to their Supercoach averages. Now, I may be just trying to put a case forward for myself here, selecting Peatling and not going with Horne-Francis, because I really like Horne-Francis. I think he's a wonderful pick and a certain keeper in your forward line, but I just don't think that he's 200k better than Peatling. I really, really don't. And it's a pretty easy restructure. All the blokes I think I've got on field in my forward line are actually fieldable. So happy with Peatling there at the moment. Again, may change though, may change. And I've got the cash to almost go back up to him anyway, to Horne-Francis, if need be. The next bloke here we have is Jacob Smith. Pretty self-explanatory along with Ashcroft. Now, the other big move I've got is I've now got Sid Draper into the side. Lindsay I had, but I had him on field, and I've got Bo Allen in my midfield now, as opposed to the back line, because I think that you got the four rookies that are there. I think they're all pretty good options. So the other thing that Allen brings to my midfield is some DPP stats. It opens up a fair bit there for me, which is nice. So as I mentioned, this could change. I know that it's pretty thick in the midfield here at the moment in the bench. But the great thing is, if I need to make a change, I can go down to, say, 113k here. And then I've got close to, 250k in the bank, and I can start to make a few moves there. Rookies are always subject to change. The same mate that ran into Bont actually has told me now, Archer Day Wicks, I think it is, at 99k, apparently training with the ones down at Essendon. So that could be another cheap option for us, either in our forward lines or our midfield, which is really nice as well. Into the rucks, this hasn't changed here. Sorry, my phone is absolutely going off at the moment. You're kidding me. This isn't a troll. All right, so I don't know if you're hearing all these buzzes with my phone, but I've turned on silent, but buzz. I don't know if my phone picks it up. This is no jokes. It's just come through from all the blokes in the team preview. Track has cracked a rib. You are absolutely gagging me. Oh. So I'm going to have to send a message through, legit say, like, I'm in the middle of a team review here. But, all right, so what? Oh, my God. Sorry, give us 2 secs. I'm not going to edit this out. Right? I'm not going to edit this out because I did say it. I cannot believe this. Just send a cheeky message to the boys here. Team preview. Spewing. All right, well, What are we going to do? This is throwing me. Boys, this is throwing me. Okay. All right, we're talking about the Rucks. I'll get back to track. You kidding me? Right in the middle of a team review. You wouldn't believe it. All right. Sherry and DeConning here. Absolute lock. When I was on the official podcast, and thanks very much for all the blokes from Herald Sun having me on with Al Payton and Doss in particular, he was the bloke. They asked me a question, who do you think's the riskiest starting pick you got on your side? And Tom DeConning for me. Now, we know about his ceiling, we know about his potential, but we know about all the risks associated with this pick as well, mainly Pito. I don't know what setup they're going with, but Vossi could change his mind at any time. Crazy Vossi could start with DeConning scene for 3 weeks. I think I mentioned this in the last video. And then it could be a pit and A there. So there is another bloke that I'm liking, who is around 20k cheaper than Tom, but again, he's arguably a bigger risk than Tommy is. So yeah, we may talk about him in a sec. This is throwing me with track. Sorry, my phone is going absolutely nuts here. Now, Arch Reed, originally this was Sims, but if I do decide to go with a loophole, and obviously I'm going with the Ruck flex for now, then Reed is the one that makes sense. You are paying 6k more, but I think it's worth it for his schedule. More Sunday games, more later games. So I think that makes sense for me for now. And this is the other big change here. Now, I've got enough cash in the bank currently to actually go up to a Matt Flynn here. It was Matt Flynn, but this is actually going to be Harry Boyd. Now, I talked quickly about him before. Huge numbers in the sandful. I believe, and when you say Harry Boyd, remember, he's not available to select yet. So that's why I've got Pike here and I'm talking about Boyd. He's the same price. I don't think Boyd is going to be DPP. He's not going to have DPP status. I'd be very surprised anyway. But I'm really liking what I'm hearing about him. And look, lots of us are looking to select an extra ruckman this year in the flex position. Ruckman are absolute gold for scoring. We know about this now. Boyd's meant to be a very big set sort of a lad. Not the most athletic bloke in the world, but great scoring potential. Really like his scoring potential. So I think there's the potential for him to be, I'm using potential a lot, aren't I? I think that he could be wasted if we actually had him at R3. I think that he's cheap enough and has the scoring ability to be in that flex position. Now, if he's not, that's okay. It doesn't count for us. That's all right. But if he is, what a bargain he could be. So I'm definitely going to look to select him if he's in the round one side and everything's looking well. It's just a matter of, do I still go with this Reed loophole here? Because it really is as easy as going bloody Boyd there, and then Reed will come to this flex position, and then you've got your Matt Flynn there that's ready. Into the forward line, this has not changed at all, I don't think, apart from something must have changed because Horn Francis went out. I think Hewitt may have been on the bench. I think that's the only change I've brought in, maybe an Erasmus type, who could be any other rookie up to, 250, 60 odd K. So McRae, self-explanatory. We'll have to track whether or not he's getting that midfield time, but I expect he is. Baz inside midfield time at Geelong, easy selection. Philippou could be the next big thing, in my opinion. So midfield time for him, it's looking like easy. Daniel, that defensive role, distributing role down back for North Melbourne. Thank you very, very much. Lynch is far from a lock, but if I add that 160k to his price, there's still no one that I'm overly sold on. So he's going to be there for now. Some have a Jack Martin there where you're saving an extra 30 odd K. Add that's what I've got. I'm now getting closer to 200k in the bank. But all I need from him is a big bag. Now, Richmond, they're not going to be a fantastic side this year, but terrible durability. It's the price for him. You want an early bag or two, and things could work out really well, but very much a moving piece. Just a rookie because he's under rookie price anyway. Hewitt, everyone's got him at the moment. Nice TPP. Cleary, hearing some good things about. And Erasmus, don't know where he's going to fit in the side. Now, I rate Freo. I think they're going to go really well this year, but I've got Bolton in now. I don't know. He was an early pick, bigger type body. Midfield's his best position. It's tough to get in there at the moment, but I hope that he does. So WA boy, I think from memory too. I haven't got hugely high hopes for him, but as I said, hopefully gets game. Nice and cheap DPP at 119. So what on earth am I going to do with track? I can get anyone in the game with 165. 721. The obvious one's Butters, isn't it? 648. Can't believe this. Neil, no. Do I get Flanders? No, not Daicos Flanders, no. Heaney, no. Trelaw. Could you go the two Freo boys? Originally, I was looking really closely at Sarong. Love him as a pick, and I don't think you can really go wrong with either Brayshaw or Sarong. I think they're both going to be fantastic scorers. Zerett's got the early buy, as does Dunkley. I'm not going to Cripps. Could I do a easy restructure as well in saying this? Geez, we're on the run here. All right, so Sinclair, Brayshaw. LDU, there's something saying wait on LDU. It's just my gut at the moment. Steele, not a chance. Walsh, Errol, probably not for me. Errol, no Anderson. Green with that buy. If he didn't, I'd be a lot more interested. Geez, Warner Petracca. I don't really want to go under Petracca. Hayden Young could be an interesting one. Do you know, he could potentially have the most upside out of any of the Freo midfielders. Horn Francis. Do you know what? Would it make sense? Because I really want Horn Francis in the side. That's pretty easy. That then actually allows me to get Draper on field. Let me just save this for a sec. I think this could actually work out for me. So we'll just do something along those lines there. All right, so we'll go Erasmus into the midfield. We'll get the horny man on, get Hewitt there. Then we go from Erasmus and we actually get Sid Draper on field. You've still got Lindsay there on the bench, and I've got 184k, so more than I had before. So save that. I'm really happy with save that, get Oliver. Yeah, that's better. So I'm really happy with having Draper on the field, obviously. He was a high price rookie to have on the bench. So I'm really getting Hewitt off field, and I'm getting Sid Draper on. So I'm actually okay with that. Do you know what? The more that I think about it, you know, how many of these rookies are actually going to average 9? I'm thinking Harry Boyd. Maybe my hopes are a little bit too high for him. You know, I could even go like a Harvey Langford in this position. Do you know the other guy I haven't got is Ed? Is it AN or EN? AN is Ed Allen. So he's got 194, and I've got 304. So I've still got another 100k in the bank. I'd love to actually start with 100k without compromising my starting team, if possible. So he's certainly an option, but probably it's going to be back to Matt Flynn at 42k. Interesting. Sorry, my phone is absolutely going nuts. So, yeah, a bit of a slight restructure there, but it does make me feel a little bit better having Horn Francis in the side. I've still got Peatling. Now, let's talk about... Now, I'm going to differentiate premiums and keepers. Premiums, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to call them a premium. 6, 7, 8, 9. Very, very, very scary. Never, ever go under 10 keepers. Let's talk about potential keepers now. 1, 2, 3 potential member. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm not going to go keeper here. So I think that I've got close to 14 in my own mind at the moment, this is only my own judgments, my own opinion, with all that cash remaining in the bank. So, track, that is such bad news. But, what are you going to do? If I didn't want to go Horn Francis, then I've also got an easy restructure. So let's just get him out. So I'll get Hewitt, or who was it? Erasmus. Just get Erasmus back here. So this is for anyone that's new to Supercoach. This I'll show you an easy way to restructure your side, but you do need DPP in saying that. All right, we get Sard out there. Now every time, so this is why I'm trading in and out plays, because every time I try to move them, it just doesn't work. All right, so we get Sard now midfield, and all of a sudden we've got 579k back here in our defense. And that brings in options. All right, so from Houston under, Martin, Clark, Newman, Sisley, maybe an option there. Rioli have had a couple ask me about. You could go all the way down to another mid-pricer like a Farrell if he ends up getting that role. McKercher, I'm not a fan of at the moment. Yeah, it would be Jordan Clark for me. Another really nice buy player there as well. But I think that I'll probably stay where I'm at with Horn Francis for now. You could potentially... You would not... This is dead set. I'm not going to put my phone up, so see names. 2-3 people just sent it through. Apparently there's a post just gone out. Daicos is dealing with plantar fascia. I think that's how you say it. Foot issues. You are joshing me, aren't you? You would not believe this, right? So what happened today, I came back from Gambie, was up there with Nash. I just quickly pumped out my NBL Supercoach review and then got onto this. You would not believe it. Daicos and Track. They're like two super important pieces to my midfield that they're now gone. I mean, come on. Well, not gone, but it's too much a risk. If you look at all the negatives about the Daicos selection, particularly that early buy, nah, I'm out. I'm gone. Just like that. You wouldn't believe it. I'm not as fickle as this, but when you're paying up a premium price for players, and I know Track was at a nice price, particularly Daicos, there's injury niggles concerns in the preseason. It's just red flags for me. I just don't think it's worth it. He's not that good and in that much of a perfect situation that you need to have him. So, bugger. All right, so now Butters. All right, so we have to go Clark. See, this is what I mean. I can't swap him for there. It doesn't work. All right, so Sard goes back. This is what you got to do on the move, particularly in season when late news comes through. So Sard goes there. Believe it. Erasmus will go back here. Can't believe that. Here we go, Horn Francis. And then, how much cash we got? We have 673. And do you know what? I think the obvious one, just for now, is Zachary Butters. I'm not going to think too much about it because I do need time to think. And this video could go for, yes, thank you, everyone. Daicos, bloody Track. Like, I was so prepared for this. But that's the life of Supercoach, isn't it? All right, so, yeah, I'm going to do that. Save my team. All of a sudden, I get two poor players in. Let's double check their buy. Hope they haven't got that tough one with Dogs and... Double check that. Oh, and I've got Flynn there as well when that could be Boyd. All right, so team as it currently sits. 24k in the bank now, so not as much cash all that in the bank. Yeah, we've got the ideal team there. Okay, save my team. Get everyone in the right position. All right. Sheasel, Sinclair's the 2 premiums down back, along with Mills and Coleman as a pair of mid-prices. Toby, Sard, Bustlinger, and Bias. So pretty happy with that setup at the moment. This has changed all of a sudden. Bont, Butters now, Brayshaw, Oliver, Peatling. So your 3 big boys, another captain option there. So still got my 3 captain options, Butters, Bont, Sherry, along with Brayshaw, good value. Oliver is at mid-pricer, not technically in my book though, but he is. Peatling as the definition of a mid-pricer. 3 really nice rookies on field there. Ed Allen is someone I'd love to have on the bench, so I'd love to find a way to potentially get a Lindsay up to an Ed Allen. That'd be really, really nice. If I do end up running with no Flynn and Archer Reed here, Boyd up there, then I may even go from an Erasmus up to Ed Allen just to really beef up that midfield bench and try to get the best players possible, but really happy with that on field. And I think it's a bit of a luxury being able to have Lindsay there as well as Bo Allen. I've got that DPP with Erasmus. Don't know about him. Also got that DPP status. So I've opened up 2 links here, which is really nice, particularly in that forward line with, your Baz, your Philippou, your Horn Francis, Daniel, and Hewitt, who are all midfields as well. So I think that's really nice there. Now, the other bloke, I might just quickly get him in while we're doing this, that I really like is, I searched up Shrek. What a dipstick I am. Shrek is Sean Darcy. Now, I know it's risky, but so is TDK. You know what? So is TDK. Darcy's got some fantastic matchups. If you haven't watched MJ and Minnie's video on Sean Darcy, please do yourself a favor, go and check it out. Big shout out to MJ as well. I was on there for the Matty Roberts top 50, number 47. So great series, great bloke, legendary fella. He will be on for a team preview as well, which is really exciting. So yeah, please make sure you do check that out. They raise some really good points and always the pros and the cons. This is not without risk, but the way he's looking at the moment, don't know if you saw the photo, there was 4 of them. Oh, I've had an absolute, so there was Pierce, Dogger, Shrek, and someone else. Might have been a Tracy maybe, I'm not too sure. But they were looking great, and he was looking so lean for the first time in a long time, under 105 kegs, a lot less pressure and weight on that knee. It's a super, super risky selection, but given the fact we've got Pike there, we've got Flinny there, plenty of cover if things don't go well. If it does go well, nice and early on, particularly when he's got this good draw, it could mean really good things for me. So we'll see what happens there, but I don't mind Big Shrek in place of TDK. And then you got Horn, Francis, McRae, Smith, Philippou, Daniel, Lynch, Flynn in that flex, which things could change. The good thing is I've got lots of options up the sleeves. So I think I'm going to leave it there, guys. I'm going to have to properly get into this chat now. Daicos injured or dealing with injuries, Track injured, all in the space of, what's this been? I don't know, an hour has it? I don't know how long I've rambled on for now. But thanks again for watching, guys. I hope your team planning is going well. And remember, news will come out and we'll do our leaks as the next few weeks come upon us. But this season guide is going to be everything you want, everything you need to have the best season you have had in your career. So I'm going to probably get back onto that now. Got another article to write and then get into this chat and work out what the heck everyone else is going to do with Track and Daicos. This is what I'm doing for now. So take care, guys. All the best. Much love. See you in the next one. Cheers. Bye.